You're listening to the Naptime Empires Podcast with my mom, Nikki Elledge Brown. Mom, your show's on.
Thanks, bud. I got it from here. Welcome to the Naptime Empires Podcast, refreshingly honest conversations on the realities of parenthood and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Nikki Elledge Brown. Let's get started. I had something else written down as the topic for this episode, and I'm changing my mind because this is actually something that came to me in the shower, which is more fresh, recent inspiration than what I wrote on this notepad yesterday while hanging out in the grass watching Bryson ride his bike. What? Without training wheels. Super exciting. Congratulations, Bryson. We will always know that on St. Paddy's Day 2017, you just decided you were done with training wheels. Super proud of you. So that inspired something that may circle back around. But today, actually, what I want to talk about now is I just want to ask you a question, actually. I don't even know that there's too much to talk about. I want to ask you, are you celebrating like the stuff that you've done and the person that you are? Are you celebrating? Because I know I'm really not so great at that. I mean, I have a lot of room for improvement. Let's word it that way. And I recently had a great catch up with my buddy Carrie Green, author of She Means Business, #SheMeansBusiness book. And I love that she always gives me credit, but it was like so not really a typical question I think that I would ask. But during her book launch of the She Means Business book, we had a FaceTime call, or maybe we were just texting, which is so amazing, by the way, technology, that we can just iMessage from Honolulu all the way to the other side of the world in England. And I was like, are you celebrating in terms of the book launch? Because I knew she was busy as all get out and she had so much going on. But I'm like, you only launch your first book once. And for me, since I definitely want to write, multiple books, I can't remember which episode was it. Oh, the Divine Breadcrumbs, when I talked about the dinner roll that got thrown in my face when I was on her book launch extravaganza. And somebody was like, okay, Nikki, and what's your book? Anyway, I'm like really excited about it. I was like, this is really exciting. I've been part of the process the whole time from, okay, I'm writing the book. Oh, what am I doing? La, la, la. I'm like, what are you actually doing to celebrate that it's time, that this is happening, that your book is done, that the launch date is set, that people are pre-ordering it? Like, what are you doing to celebrate? And she gives me way too much credit because then she says that that really was like a turning point for her where she stopped being in total head down mode. Like she still was super busy and had a lot going on for the book launch. But that's when she started to see things a bit differently. She welcomed in help with the process and all of that goodness. And this is something that it's weird to admit, but it's almost like I've forgotten how to celebrate, which in another way I could say it's like I've forgotten what do I do for fun? Like, what does celebrating actually look like? I specifically remember, I think I told this I've done a couple interviews with John Lee Dumas for his Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. I will link to those in the show notes, and I will link to Carrie's book in the show notes as well, and all of her stuff because she's fabulous. But anyway, when I did my first launch of A Course About Copy in February 2014, I had originally set a goal of like 50 students. And because that's what I needed, 50 G's, to cross over the $100,000 mark in revenue or something like that. Maybe I needed 45 at the time. And so that was my goal. And I was just going for it. Again, the episode that I can link to of John Lee Dumas's podcast goes into that story in more detail. But the funny thing is, I was at my parents' house. Jeremy was in Connecticut. Bryson was, almost 2.5. Everybody was asleep. I was at my parents' house because we were visiting in Texas to be closer to Jeremy in Connecticut. And I literally did a cartwheel. Like, what the F? I did a cartwheel in the dark in my parents' living room, like my childhood home. I was listening to Oceans, the beautiful song Oceans by Hillsong United, and my way of celebrating that I had officially crossed over the $100,000 mark in my business at 10 months in. #results not typical. I can share posts on that too, because people are going to ask, how did you do that? Oh, actually, just go back to episode 1. I already talked about all that. Anyway, I did a cartwheel. Like, what? I gotta find better ways to celebrate. I mean, yes, that was like after bedtime and I was at my house, so what are you gonna do? But like, I want to know, what are you doing to celebrate? Life is happening and it happens so freaking quickly. Like, I don't know how, at the time I'm recording this, Deacon's almost 15 months old. Bryson's going to be 5.5 soon. We're buying our first house. Like, I can't believe it's actually 2017 and Jeremy's about to get out of active duty and we're going to be moving to Texas. And there's like so much that's going on between now and then. And it's all great stuff and it's all exciting stuff. And I know I just did an episode on delighting in the process. And this is very closely aligned with that idea. I mean, it really is. I feel like I'm going to be saying the same thing just in different ways and different angles every week in these solo episodes. But like, what are you doing? What do you like to do to celebrate? This is a conversation that I want to have because it's different. I mean, it's different. It's okay. Like buying yourself flowers. That's something. Dance parties. We've talked about that. Red lips and dance parties, episode 5. Going out with friends, going on it, like out to dinner. What do you like to talk about? If you're like out to dinner with your spouse, what do you guys talk about at dinner? Are you the kind of people who don't talk about your kids at dinner, or you don't talk about work, or like, do you love to talk about that? What do you talk about? Like, what do people do for fun? What do you actually do to celebrate? I have so much room to improve in this area of my adult life. And I really want to look forward to my 30s. I'm almost 32. I don't want to say look forward to my 30s. I'm already like 2 years in. Like, I want to have more fun and celebration in my life. So this is a conversation starter. I want to hear about what you're doing. We're going to go to Aulani. We love Aulani. It's the Disney Resort and Spa out here on Oahu. We have loved going since it first opened. Bryson's first time there, he was 17 days old. Deacon was 15. He beat him by 2 days. Not that it's a competition. Both boys met Mickey at like practically 2 weeks old, which is like, I hope they appreciate that one day. Boys, I hope you appreciate that one day. Anyway, you know, our time in Hawaii is winding down. We're planning our last Aulani staycation, and that is always a celebration. And I love with Disney vacations, they always say, are you celebrating something? Because they like to give you a special button. Like if it's your first visit, if it's your birthday, if it's your anniversary, you know, Disney just likes to do that to add the extra magic. And I love that question. Are you celebrating something? Because there's truly always something we can be celebrating. It doesn't have to be a massive launch milestone. It could be, honestly, it could be that you freaking got dressed today, or you put a bra on, or you took your bra off. I mean, it's up to you. Or maybe you don't wear one ever, because maybe you're a dude. And if that's the case, I appreciate you listening, because I know that I always talk to the ladies by default. So maybe you celebrate by booking a massage, hair appointment, a new outfit. Again, vacation, like what are the things? What am I missing? This is really not like I'm a champion at celebration and I'm here to teach you how to celebrate. This is not a thing. I really just want to have a discussion. So in order to have that discussion, you have to join the Naptime Empires Playground if it still exists by the time you're listening to this, which of course it does if you're listening to this as I'm putting it out. You can go to naptimeempires.com/Facebook, or you can come over to my Facebook page, Nikki Elledge Brown, and tell me, what do you do to celebrate? Like, I think we could all shake things up a bit and just come up with a fun list, like a bank of ideas of things that you do. And what do you celebrate? I mean, that obviously depends on your values in your life, your business, and what matters. But I talked about, was it in my conversation with Andrea? Yeah, it was in the conversation with Andrea that just aired, where I was talking about celebrating Bryson's 5th birthday, for example, and how I was celebrating the fact that I actually, we did a big thing. We had his friends. We rented this honeymoon beach out here on base, and it was so special and so fun for all of us. And I was just celebrating the fact that I actually took time out to plan a birthday party, because other birthday parties have kind of all run together, besides the first one, which was spectacular. His first birthday, he was Carl Fredrickson from Up, because it was like birthday / Halloween. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like when you just actually go the extra mile, because celebration isn't like high five or a Facebook post. It's like it actually takes some skin in the game. Like you actually put energy, time, money. I mean, yeah, I guess those are your resources. Time, energy, money, something like that. Into saying, look, this cool thing happened. This is something that I'm really thankful for and excited about. Or this is something I really want to note and like anchor this moment in. Celebrate. What are you celebrating? And how are you celebrating it? I want to know. That's it. I know this is like a weird episode, but I just feel like since that was such an important question for Carrie to hear during her book launch, I thought it might be an important question for you. And I would really appreciate it if you notice that something big is happening in my life. Ask me how I'm celebrating. I think that's a good question. What are you celebrating? Just pretend like you're a Disney cast member on the reservations line. What are you celebrating? Are you celebrating anything special? Because anything can be special if we actually choose to make it so by celebrating. How many times can I say the word celebrating in one podcast? That's all I got for you this time. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you next time.
This show may be over, but the conversation is just beginning. Head on over to naptimeempires.com/Facebook so you can join my free... Wait, did I say free? I meant priceless, rapidly growing community of Naptime Empire builders for deeper discussions, behind-the-scenes scoop, and of course, updates whenever I've got new stuff coming up for you. naptimeempires.com/Facebook. See you there.
See you next time. Thanks for listening.